The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. This is Mark Raymaker's Insurance Agency Marketing Services. Thank you so much for taking time to join us here today on this webinar on tax-free income, the Roth IRA Alternative. This is something that we do every day of the week. So a lot of our advisors out there understand this concept. They're taking full advantage of that. And so I wanted to pass this idea on to you and see what we can do to help complement what you're doing out there in your advisory, your planning business. This is a recorded webinar, so for you, you will receive the recorded version via a YouTube link. You just click on that and you can view that at your leisure as often as you like. And a couple of other things here this morning. There will be a couple of different polls that I'll be putting out there for you. I do see some new names out here this morning, and so just want to gauge interest in a couple of things that we are making available to you here. Now we are also going to go through a few things that IMS does, Insurance Agent Marketing Services does for our advisors. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Time is money, right? So let's talk about what we can do here to make some more of that. First off, one of the things that we do with our advisors, we do provide for a cash bonus when you send a referral over to us. And just like you, we certainly do appreciate those. And we like to thank you with a cash reward. So first off, when you send us a referral, they get appointed. We send you a check for $50. And then every time they write a piece of business, we provide 20 basis points on annuities, single premium life. And then it's a little bit different fraction for traditional life. But bottom line is, if you just, for example, send 3 agents to us, they did $1 million in total production. That's $6,000 for you. So you continue to receive money for their business as long as they're producing. There's no reduction in their commission. There's none in yours. There's no concern about having a agency hierarchy. You don't have to worry about their chargebacks, et cetera, et cetera. They are on their own, and you just get rewarded for it. One other thing that we do, or many, is we do provide for market reimbursement, something I certainly would have appreciated when I was in the field. And basically, every time you write a piece of business with us, what we do is we put money into a reimbursement account. So, for example, $100,000 annuities or single premium life, or $10,000 in target life premium, we put $100 into an account. You can let that sit there as long as you want, and then when you're ready to claim it, all you would do is send us a receipt for your marketing expense. That could be for your leads. It could be for your seminars. It could be for customer appreciation. The list goes on and on. Let's say you spend $500. You send us a receipt. We send you a check for $250. So 50% of your expense is reimbursed by us. Kind of nice to have that in addition to your commission. Then we do something for our new producers, and here we've got a 3-tier approach to it. At any time, if you would get appointed and you write business with us and you redeem it at one level, you forego the others. So if you decide you get $100,000, and that's dollar for single premium annuities, and then again, that's a fraction of that for target life, it would be first choice. You could take $750 in cash or a 2-year subscription to the website service. And by the way, if you wanted to buy into that, you could. That website can be up and running for you in 1 business day, or you could choose the iPad. So any one of those 3. If you wait to the next level, the 300,000 level, this has been a very popular option. This is the Social Security program and 3,000-piece mailing. This is a great way for you to get a lot more senior potential buyers. This is a great way for you to write a lot of additional business, and those that are taking advantage of it have seen that success. Now, you can also buy into that program. You can call our office so we can get you some information to see if that would be a good option for you. The next one would be 2,000 marketing reimbursement dollars. So get your account built up real quick, invest as you please in your business, or there's the $1,500 gift card. The last level, maybe you're interested in seminars, maybe you've done them in the past, haven't been overly successful, but would like to be. We have 2 options for you. One is a 5,000-piece mailing and seminar coaching with Matt Gill, or 4,000-piece mailing and seminar coaching with Dave Pimper. These 2 do a phenomenal job of seminars. In fact, you have an opportunity to see their presentation and to meet them, and I'll get to that here in just 1 minute. But you could buy into either one of those, or you could earn them. Lastly, maybe you're happy with what you're doing as far as generating new leads and you just want to take a vacation. You can do that with the Ritz-Carlton travel package. Our back office support truly is second to none. We take you from submission all the way to commission and everything in between, before and after. And so we provide all the different tools that you need to be successful. We do the help with the field underwriting on the life side. We do the cases, the illustrations for you, and then we manage the case as well. So what happens there is when you write a piece of business with us, we watch it for you. We work with the companies. We communicate to you via phone, via email on a weekly basis. We do all that back office for you, so you're out doing what you do best, which is prospecting and selling. So that's something we do here. Now, our creative department, this is something that we're really trying to get out there, because we have seen those advisors that have taken advantage of what they do, from branding all the way from the very beginning all the way down to the digital solutions. There's a lot of steps in between, but they really create some nice professional handouts. They put your logo on there, your name, your company, everything that you want to represent yourself can go on everything. And I can tell you that advisors that have taken advantage of that have seen a nice boost in what they're doing out there, and that would also take into consideration the social media, personal websites, online newsletters, email marketing campaigns, etc. So take advantage of that. If you're not doing that, that's one of the benefits that we have here. You might look through the library piece that we have and customize them, or you can present them with one of your own ideas and they can put it on print for you. Our website is www.imzinc.com. Everything you could possibly want or need to do business is out there for you. Of course, we encourage you to call our office for that support. But if there should be a time, maybe before or after our hours, or maybe even on the weekend, and you need any forms, contracts, information on carriers, products, rates, it's all out there for you. Certainly encourage you to do that. And by the way, we've been in this business now going on 33 years. And when you call our office, you're going to have someone answer the phone within 3 rings. So, and that is going to be from 7:30 to 5:30 Monday through Thursday, and up till 5 on Friday. Retirement Analyzer, I'm going to put in a quick plug for this here. There's a lot of advisors out there that are looking for a great tool to take a holistic approach to planning, and this is certainly a great one. So if you're not utilizing something now and you're looking for a good tool, this is going to be one that is very comprehensive. So if you're a little challenged as far as the computer is concerned, or reading graphs and doing all that kind of stuff, it might not be for you, but you know what? It certainly is worth a phone call. You can call and ask for Marcus, and he can discuss the Retirement Analyzer program for you. So great tool. Here's our first poll, and I'll tell you real quick here. I'm going to put this out. If you want to just mark yes or no on this, that'll certainly help us to move along a little quicker. So real quick, with the Department of Labor, we decided that whole thing that was going on to be ahead of the curve. What we did is we created our IMS Wealth Management, so our own RIA. And what I'm doing is the poll is to ask if you are considering taking your test, getting your 65, maybe helping to manage your client's money, or maybe you're just interested to know what we can do to help you on that side of your business. So there are chances and opportunities for you to refer your clients over. We can help manage the money, and you can get paid for it. Or you might want to just go ahead and take the test. You want some help maybe getting the material, and I mean help by financially supporting you on that. We can do that as well. Or maybe you just want to know what it's about. What can we do? Well, I can tell you one thing, that when we compare commissions, fees, all that kind of stuff, we are right there with the best in the business. And so there's been a lot of advisors that have moved their money over. Tremendous response from them by moving it over, getting a better commission, better fee structure, and even just helping them to manage their money. So if you're interested in that at all, if you just mark yes, what we'll do is we'll have one of the fine folks from the IMS Wealth team give you a call. And, keep in mind, this is another opportunity for you to gain more assets, to get another, leg or tier of business with your existing clients, which helps that retention, which gives you more commission, and you know what, it just helps from the referral base as well. So it's a great way for you to, bottom line, grow your business. So pretty good response. I appreciate that. If you want anybody to call you, just mark yes. If not, if you decide that you later want to speak with someone in the IMS Wealth team, you can certainly call our office and we can refer you over. And here's a nice thing. You can you can have your managed money, your annuities, your life insurance, your med sup, your long-term care, all of it in one roof. So it's very helpful. Okay, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to close the poll. Let's move on. Here's our last poll. This is going to be on our Life and Annuity Training Academy. You can tell that if you look at our website, we have a lot of webinars out there. And so we believe in education. We believe in an informed, educated advisor is definitely going to be very successful because they're in the know. They know what's going on. So our Life and Annuity Training Academy is designed to help you grow the first of all, the side of the business that you're in, that you're most focused on. So it might be growing your annuity business, growing your life business. And then what we also do is we help you to incorporate other products, other concepts, other ideas into your business to make you more well-rounded. So we bring speakers in from across the country, and we pay for your airfare, we pay for your meals, we pay for your lodging. There's no out-of-pocket expense for you. And again, the whole idea is that we're bringing advisors in, the top advisors in the country, that are going to share some of the most successful sales ideas and concepts that they utilize. Not only that, but I think the important thing is that you're in a room with other top advisors where there's a lot of idea sharing. And it's really exciting to see agents when they walk out rejuvenated, full of energy, ready to get back to the office on Monday and hit the ground running with some new concepts. Now here's what we do. We fly you in on a Wednesday. So you're in the Wednesday evening. We do a few short presentations. We do a dinner that evening. We do a full day training on Thursday, and we do a half a day training on Friday. We get you on a plane, get you home for the weekend. So it's a great opportunity, really. This is not about companies coming in and talking about their products. Now, we will tell you we do have companies that help support it. They're going to talk about some of the new products, some of the new innovations, and how we incorporate that into your sales process and cycles. So good opportunity for you. If you're not getting any type of training, if you haven't been out for one, I'd certainly encourage you to mark yes. And by marking yes, that doesn't mean that you're going to have to attend it once you mark yes, but what we're going to do is we're going to email you the agenda. We're going to tell you the dates. We have one more coming up, I believe, this year. It is in October. We generally do 3. So 2 under our belt, 1 to go. We can certainly let you know exact dates as well as the agenda. Okay. Well, we got about half you voted in. The other half must find it difficult to sneak away for some of this training, but this is a great opportunity for you. There we go. All right. That looks great. Okay. Over 70%. Perfect. Now I'm happy. All right. I'm going to close the poll. If you decide that you want to know more and you might be interested in attending, just give us a call here. We can certainly get you everything that you need to know what's happening. But it's certainly a great event, and I've been presenting at those personally for 9 years now, and I will tell you that I have never seen an advisor walk out of there and say it wasn't worth their time. So, okay, Ritz-Carlton, we've got a great trip for you. We do these every year, generally an 18-month qualification. So ours started January 1 of this year, goes to June 30th of next year. This is Naples, Florida from August 25th to 29th. And you'll notice here that every piece of business that you write goes towards the points to qualify yourself and a guest. So no matter what you do, you're going to get points for that. And, for today's purposes, $250,000 in target life premium gets you and a guest there. Otherwise, it's dollar for dollar for annuities, etc. And the goal is to get to 3 million points, okay? Love to have you there. It's August 25th through 29th, Naples, Florida, the Ritz-Carlton. Okay. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about I guess we call it the Roth Alternative or the tax-free retirement. Now, most of you on here today have probably heard of Patrick Kelly. He's written a number of books on this. And I guess I don't know that I want to say that he's kind of the godfather of it, but he really did a phenomenal job of getting the books out there and the concept out for us all to, attach on to. And Doug Warren is another one, a friend of ours that has written some books on that. And so what I'm doing here this morning is I'm basically using information, so I'm going to kind of do a Cliff's Notes version of that and, just break it down. Now, part of this is going to seem very elementary to you. So as we go through this, this is part of how you would describe it to your prospects and your clients, okay? So I certainly don't want to come across as I'm trying to offend anybody by saying some of the basic things that we all know, but how we build the case on setting up a tax-free retirement for our clients in addition to some other planning that we do, whether it be through funds and annuities, etc. Okay, so what we're going to talk about this morning, again, this is all presenting it to your prospects and clients. We're going to talk about the logical investment order, different investment options, tax awareness, and the ultimate tax-free solution, who's a prospect who we're looking for, qualification, design features, and then really a call to action for you. So let's go ahead and keep in mind here, again, we're going to build this framework for your clients so that they understand. So when you look at some of these different presentations out there, these different books that are out there, we're going to talk about the illogical investment order. So what we need to know, obviously, and to present to our clients so that they understand why and how we're getting to from point A to point Z. So first of all, there's the free money. And one of the things that you may see and hear out there is to make sure that when your prospects and your clients go to work, if the company has a matching 401k, that they take advantage of the free money. So what is the company going to match up until whatever point? Now, a lot of them are going to say out there, once you do that, a lot of the advisors out there, or I guess the godfathers of this type of concept are going to say, once you take advantage of the free money, back off and make sure that you take advantage of things like this. The tax-free, the Roth IRAs themselves. Put money into the Roth IRAs so that you're getting that tax-free distribution when you retire. Then there's the tax-deferred monies, so like the annuities, the traditional IRAs, of 401k. Those grow tax-deferred, as we know, but when you take the money out, it's going to be fully taxable. So we want to make sure that, except for annuities, we understand that, but we want to make sure our clients understand that that's the next thing that we want to do. And then after that, once they've maxed out everything else, take advantage of every other investment that earns interest, that grows in value. We don't want to just stick it in the bank. We still want to have our money working as hard, if not harder than we are, so that we do get some growth. We understand that taxes are sort of the penalty for success, right? So we know that that's going to be a part of investing. So what we want to do is we want to show them some different things that are available. And this kind of goes back where I talked before about the IAMS Wealth. There's a lot of different things you can do out there, but of all these options, what are you presenting to your clients? You know, obviously there's the CDs. We all probably talk about that in our presentations. There's stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities, the qualified accounts, IRAs, Roth IRAs, and life insurance. So again, we're presenting this to our clients. These are the things that are available to you. Now, most of our clients out there, most of the prospects out there probably don't realize that life insurance can be an investment. And some of you might be thinking, really, how is that? Well, this is why we're doing this here this morning. We're going to go through that. So one of the things that we want to do is we want to talk about taxation on whatever your clients invest in. Obviously, the tax qualified plans, there's early withdrawals before 59.5, there's a penalty. So we have to be careful of that. And, you know, unfortunately, I get a lot of advisors that will call in and they want to start taking money from an investment and surrender it and put it into a life insurance policy prior to age 59.5. So we have to remember that we explained to them that there is a penalty if they touch it before that. And this can be a negative thing, but again, we're building that frame for the client. Income taxes are due on all payments, right? Because that's qualified money. Mutual funds, stocks, real estate, etc. You're going to have capital gains. You're going to have to pay taxes on the growth over and above, you know, or the profits on those particular growths. RMDs, required minimum distributions. One of the things we need to remind our clients, and I periodically will see this, where an advisor has not told their client that at 70.5 they're going to have to start taking RMDs. So that's taxes on the income, right? Failure to withdraw or not withdraw can result in an excise tax. So again, one of these things that it's all part of the investment process and growth and all that. Some of the tax-free things to mention to them would be municipal bonds, Roth IRAs, and life insurance. Okay, now you see we're kind of getting closer to explaining why life insurance might be a good option for them. So let's look at really what is the ultimate tax-free solution. Well, one of the nice things is that we get growth of principal, right? We put money into this investment and it grows and it's growing tax deferred. It preserves what they put in there. There's no RMDs. There's no penalties for early withdrawals. So if we took it out prior to 59.5, we're not going to get slapped on the hands. Tax deferral on accumulation, which is indefinite. Tax-free income via loans. There's no age restrictions other than up to age 85. There's no contribution limits. Tax-free benefit to heirs, and no reporting to IRS. So what would that be? There is such a thing out there. And realistically, it's life insurance. Okay? So how would we want to make sure that our clients qualify for it? Well, first of all, we have to make sure that they're insurable. Now, one thing I will say is I have seen cases that have come in where they are very poor health, but they are very wealthy. So they're able to offset the penalty of poor health with the money that they can put into it. And this brings me to the next point. They have to have ample funds for it. Now, there's times where, maybe we have someone who comes into us and they've got maybe $50 a month, but they're fairly young. you know what, when we show them, if they're 20-some years old, they put it in there, by the time they retire, there's a pretty decent amount of income coming out. But what we also do is we build in for that extra, that opportunity to add more money down the road. So that's kind of one thing to keep in the back of your mind. Maybe your client can only afford so much a month, 50 a month, doesn't seem like a whole lot, but it's a great way to get started. They can always build and add more to it later. And they should have a lengthy time horizon. So if you have a client who's 60 years old and they plan to retire in 5 years, probably not a good prospect for this. However, I will say, if they do have funds, what we've done in the past is we've been able to do something for maybe someone who's 60 years old, overfund this policy we're going to talk about in a minute, and utilize that as a long-term care alternative. Okay, so there's an option. I say it's good for all ages up to age 65. I think I've done some before, maybe close to 70, again with the idea that it might be a good long-term care alternative strategy. So here's what we want to do. Now we've kind of communicated to our client or our prospect that life insurance is a good alternative, and I'm going to show you in a minute an illustration of how that works. What we want to do is we want to look at an index life product. We generally will do an option 2. And again, it kind of depends on the time horizon, how long the client has to let that policy cook and grow. But we generally will do a option 2 benefit. We'll do a minimum death benefit. And the reason for that is because what we want to do is, for all the dollars we're putting in there, we want as much to go into the index option as possible. So we'll cover the mortality costs, and then we want to load up that bucket of index. And then what happens too is that death benefit grows slowly, avoiding a MEC, and we're taking full advantage of as much accumulation as we can. What we would then do is, when they're ready to trigger that income, we level the death benefit off. So we go from an option 2 to an option 1. The reason for that too is because obviously as they get older, let's say they're going to retire at 65 or 67, mortality costs are still coming out of the contract, right? If we do increasing, it's going to just astronomically deplete the cash value, hence the reason for going level death benefit. We take loans against the policy versus just a straight withdrawal, because obviously there could be taxation for that, but loans are not going to be taxable unless we've created a MEC. Some agents don't have a problem with creating a MEC because then they say it's like an annuity, but then on the flip side, we're trying to prevent the taxation. We're trying to have that tax-free income. You can also add a waiver specified premium on there. We've done that before, so what that basically means is, even though maybe the mortality charges or the cost of the insurance is $50 a month, but your client's putting in $150 a month, what will happen is if they become disabled, it'll still continue to contribute that $150 a month to stay with the plan. And then there's the life protector rider. Maybe the client decides they're going to start taking out a bunch of extra cash from the policy. What the life protector rider is something similar to that. What it does is, if the policy is potentially going to lapse, it'll kick in the rider and it'll discontinue the payment to prevent the policy from lapsing. If it does lapse, then the growth in the contract would then be taxable. We don't want that. So here's what I did. I'm just going to show you an example of one of the policies that we've got here. This is an example, and again, it could be any IUL carrier out there. We do have a new one that I'd love to illustrate for you. So after the webinar, we've got a new product that came out with North American. In fact, I have a feeling that maybe that's the one I have on here now. Let me see. Okay, no, it's not. Okay, so this Builder Plus product that we've got is phenomenal for cash accumulation. And what we did here is we're going to use a 35-year-old preferred non-tobacco. This Omega Builder IUL is a great product for that. We're going to use the $500 a month to age 65, so they're going to continue to pay premium. We got a guaranteed interest of 2%. We're showing 7% as the assumed. Most of the IUL products out there are showing a 7+%. And we're going to use a one-year point-to-point strategy. Now, you can use whatever you want, but here's an example. Again, this is just an example. This doesn't mean that this is the best or worst product out there, but it's an example. We're using the concept. We want to show this to the client or the prospect and show them how it works. Okay, so we're putting this $6,000 a year. You notice the death benefit starts off at, it's originally at $188, but it goes up every year. And you'll notice the cash accumulation in the product is just really starting to zing. By the time they're 65 years old, what we've done is we have put in up until 65, at which point we trigger a loan. Okay, so we are taking out $69,282 a year tax-free. And you'll notice we levelize the death benefit because we want to prevent the mortality costs from going sky high as they get older. We've taken that income out to age 90. And now most people statistically will make it, well, within their 90s, and then they pass. So at that point, again, this is a hypothetical example. We can do these however you want. If that particular client dies at age 90, they will have $259,000 tax-free to go to their beneficiary, in addition to all of the funds that they have received tax-free while they're contributing. So let's look at this. This is quite impressive. Your client at age 35 to 65 would have put in $180,000. They would have pulled out $1.6 million tax-free. So quite the return on the money. Plus, remember, there's that $250,000 death benefit that they would have received if they would have passed at age 90. Now, just for the heck of it, I'm going to show you at any point in time. Let's say, statistically, that we have a male who lives to age 78, and there's $200,000 roughly there. So any point in time that they die, that death benefit is paid tax-free to the beneficiary. So it's quite an impressive tool when you look at it. So here's a couple of things we want to look at. First of all, you want to look at those prospects because I myself have written some of these, and I have some doctor friends I've talked to, and you know what? They have a tendency to put their money anywhere they can, like we talked about before, the logical investment order. They've done the same thing that we would want to recommend that they do. And so now where can they put their money? And so what we look at is maybe prospects that are ineligible for a Roth IRA, or prospects that have maximized contributions to their company's qualified plans, or maybe those in the top tax brackets, maybe doctors or those that are earning in excess of $177,000 married jointly. Part of it, too, is some things to think about is they have large college loans, they're ineligible for Roth IRA, and limited time and knowledge of investment options. Now, one of the things about that, and I'm going to kind of lead into the next point about small business owners, is that when they're putting the money into the insurance, to grow it for a retirement option, keep in mind they've got a tax-free death benefit that can be used to pay for, upon their death, to pay for the cost of those loans that are still out there. Same holds true for those that are small business owners. Money's pretty tight when you're starting a business. I've talked with some business owners over the weekend, and I remember them, one of the things they said is they start out with nothing, and they're scared to death. They're taking a leap of faith, but they blood, sweat, and tears. They're bound and determined and became successful in their business. So money's tight. They're loaned out, leveraged to the hilt. They've borrowed as much as they possibly can. And so we know that if something should happen to them in the process of going down, the path of business life, if something happens, they can pay off those loans. But the thing, too, is they know that they can't wait forever to put money aside. So they're kind of taking a multi-tiered approach in this particular strategic plan with the Roth Alternative. They prefer a non-qualified plan because they really can't afford to do anything for the employees as of yet. But, as business grows, it gives them an opportunity, an option to do something with you as well. But they're taking care of themselves, and from an IRS standpoint, they can do that. There's the instant liquidity. So here's the other thing. Maybe they have pretty much, reached the peak of what they can borrow. But boy, you know what? If they could just buy this tool or this machine, or maybe put something into the business, build another office in there or something, they need to borrow some funds. They can certainly go to their life insurance policy, and they can do that tax-free. Okay, and there's even the opportunity or option for them to even write off the interest. So. And the other thing, too, is there's collateral for loans, So if they decide to go back to the bank, they've got some collateral there. So here's your call to action. One of the things that you can do is go back to your client files. Maybe you know some businesses out there. Maybe you know some clients out there that have maxed out what they can in that logical investment order. You know some folks that might be professionals that that you've pretty much done what you think you can do for them already. Go back to them with this concept. I'm telling you, I sat down and the first one that I had written is I sat down with this physician. Actually, it was a neurologist. Sat down with them and went through the process. I filled out a fact finder, found out what they've done with their assets, and realistically did a phenomenal job. This was one area that they could take advantage of, and she wrote me a check for $500 each month to go into her plan, and it has done very, very well. So go back to those clients that you know that might not qualify because of their income. Maybe they're, again, those new businesses. Check the newspaper. See, check out some of these new businesses that are opening up. Go in there and make a soft introduction. See if you can sit down and visit with them and, share the concept. Check the Better Business Bureau. There's some other things there too. Maybe some new companies that have just made the Triple B just recently. They might be good prospects. It's a matter of sitting down in front of them. And I tell you, it's kind of surprising to me because there's a lot of businesses out there where maybe there's an advisor that's come in, they've kind of lived high on the hog, and they have not done a real good job of following up. I kind of grew up in the school where you put on your shoes and you go door to door, back before everybody had the, no solicitors allowed. It doesn't necessarily mean that you can't find a way to introduce yourself. And I was surprised that when the tremendously large company that I went into hadn't heard from their advisor in years. They just had it on autopilot, collected the commissions, and had someone come in once a year and visit with them about their company benefits. And so they weren't overly impressed with that individual. So bottom line is, don't be afraid to go out and shake a hand, because you might be surprised how many business owners out there are willing to sit down and talk with someone such as yourself, because their current advisor had not done a real good job of helping them. So here's the last thing. Or maybe it's the first thing after that, is to call us here. We run these illustrations all day long. I don't think there's a day that goes by that I don't personally run an illustration like this for one of our advisors. So we know how to run them. Very confident in the products that we have. And, as I mentioned, there's a new product with North American that's been out there, and we've had some phenomenal success with that particular product. So I'd really appreciate an opportunity to show you what we can do for you. And so here's what we can really do to help. Obviously, we want to pre-qualify that prospect or client that you're working with. We want to find out what their health is, because it's important that we know that going in, so that there's no surprises. There's nothing worse to have a great plan set up and you go in and your client comes back in a different light than what they had applied for. So you go and prefer and they come back at table 4. So we want to make sure that we help you with that. We're also going to ask the right questions. What kind of dollars are we looking for, et cetera, et cetera. Then we're going to run that tax-free retirement illustration for you. And we're going to run some different options. Like I said, sometimes it's better to do increasing. Sometimes it's better to do level. So we'll tweak a little bit and get the most out of the illustration as we can with the company that's best suited. Once you write the case, you send it to us. We scrub the application for you. We make sure that everything is in there, I's dotted, T's crossed. If there's anything special we need, sometimes we're going to need some financial information from the company. Or maybe we even need some other documents. We'll make sure that those are all together with it. We then order the exams for you so you don't have to do that. We stay in touch with the exam company to make sure they're getting that completed. Then we work hand in hand with the insurance company, the underwriters, to make sure the case gets through as quickly as possible, because we understand that if you don't get paid, no one gets paid. We understand that you're not on a salary. We understand that you're commission driven. And so we want to get your cases placed and paid so that you can continue to pay your bills and thrive. We also will provide you, as I mentioned before, the weekly updates on your cases. So we call you and we email you. We make sure that you know what's going on, so that you don't feel like you have to pick up the phone and follow up to see what's happening. Our goal is to get those cases issued and paid as quickly as possible. We also provide for the marketing reimbursement. That's one last thing I just wanted to make sure that you're aware of. As I mentioned before, whatever your expenses are, we can help offset that in addition to your commission. So it's nice to know whatever you're doing, whether it's through newspaper articles or you're mailing out brochures, or any expense that you might have in social media marketing, whatever, we do that for you. I can tell you that we've had some advisors here. One thing that they do is a customer appreciation once a year. So they let their market reimbursement dollars accumulate all year long, and then they have a huge blowout, like $25,000 to $50,000 customer appreciation event. I've attended it. It's absolutely amazing. So, and there's those that use it to pay for their office expenses each month. So whatever it is you want to use it for, that is totally up to you. So keep that in mind. Okay, that pretty much concludes the webinar for this morning here. I hope you picked up some ideas. I know I went through it fairly quickly, but we're here to answer any questions that you might have. And part of it is to get the concept, to get the idea, in your head, and then if we can discuss further with you, answering any questions, putting together some hypothetical illustrations, I think you'd be very surprised. There's a lot of young professionals out there that we do a lot of these illustrations for. Maybe they're married, maybe they're not. They have no children yet, and this is a great opportunity for them to start planning, get additional dollars socked away somewhere until they start having kids and they start writing checks to to the schools and all the special activities that they do in their life. So, keep an eye out for that. Look at those prospects or clients that you have that are young professionals that are doing very well in their business. So, okay, let's see. It looks like we got a question here. Doug says, yep, I can get you an example of that for sure. And again, this webinar was recorded, so this will be emailed out to you. I noticed that there were some folks that jumped on here a little bit late. But if you want to know more about the concept, maybe you want to read about it. Patrick Kelly is one. As I mentioned, Doug Warren, Tax-Free Retirement, I think is Patrick Kelly's. He's had a couple of versions of that. Doug Warren, Indexed IUL Unleashed, talks about that. And so, you can go out to Amazon and get those. That's where I've purchased some books before. I've handed some of these out here before at our Life and Annuity Training Academy. So, okay, I don't see any other questions. If you do have some and you want to call our office, please do that. Call us here at the 800-255-5055 number and ask for Life Marketing, and we'll put together an illustration for you, answer any questions that you might have. I'd encourage you to, I believe that we have a webinar scheduled tomorrow. That's on an annuity maximization, I believe, on our single premium life. So if you're not doing something like that, I would encourage you to go out to our website, register for that, and join us with that particular webinar. It's certainly going to be a good one for you, an opportunity for you to help your senior clients and obviously to help yourself as well. So thank you again for joining us. Have yourself a great week, and we look forward to speaking with you soon. Thanks again.